Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Thomas of Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown for your Friday, September 25th, 2020. Hopefully you had a good work day, or if you're headed to work, hopefully you have a great night shift. All right. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. And as always, we'd like to send an invitation to anyone looking to advertise or to sponsor any one of our segments. Florida National News has 5 shows to choose from and a couple of awesome websites. You can shoot us an email at ads@floridanationalnews.com to find out more. And as always, guys, we'd like to get you started with the latest COVID-19 reports globally here in the United States and in the state of Florida. So globally, the World Health Organization is reporting over 32.1 million confirmed cases and over 980,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the United States, Johns Hopkins University has finally reported that we've broken the 7 million mark, and we are at over 203,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the state of Florida, according to the Department of Health, we're seeing over 695,000 confirmed cases, and we have broken the 14,000 mark in terms of confirmed deaths here in the state of Florida. Now, jumping into our world story for today, the UK and France are seeing new records in terms of their daily COVID-19 cases. Now, they're attributing the increase in cases to an increase in testing, as well as young folks who have shunned social distancing guidelines and attended parties after long months of isolation, as well as people going on holiday despite travel warnings or going on vacation for those of us in the US. But the UK has reported a record of over 6,600 new COVID-19 cases as of Thursday, the highest number recorded by the country, even before its nationwide lockdown. Health Secretary Matt Hancock told Sky News that the situation is not as dire as during the peak of the pandemic, when the government estimates that as many as 100,000 people were being infected with the virus per day, though lower testing rates at that time mean that the daily infection rates from that period probably don't reflect the virus's true spread. But Hancock said, quote, "Now we estimate that it's under 10,000 people a day getting the disease. That's too high, but it's still much lower than in the peak." Now, for France's part, France has also counted a record-breaking 16,096 new daily cases on Thursday, which is the 4th time that they've broken their record, their daily COVID-19 record in the last week or so. Now, this news comes just after new COVID-19 crackdowns were placed on the major cities in Paris, such as Paris, Marseille, Bordeaux, and Lyon, to help dampen the resurgence of new cases after the nationwide lockdown was scaled back. You guys heard us talk a little bit about that earlier in the week. Now, French officials are saying that improved testing has meant more infections are being detected and recorded, though the country has seen a worrying trend of increased hospitalizations. And the number of coronavirus patients in Paris hospitals has doubled over the past few weeks and will likely increase nearly twofold again before October. And France and the UK are not alone in their increase in cases. Other nations such as Spain, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Austria, and the Netherlands as well have all counted jumps in cases. The surge of new infections are not considered as serious as the situation back in spring. You know, the peak of the pandemic in Europe, though, has led to new, often localized crackdowns in a bid to keep new viruses at bay. So that's the situation in Europe. And we jump over here to the United States. We're seeing a few increases in several states as well here in the US. Now, particularly in the Midwest and on the West Coast, to be specific. Now, several of these states, including Arizona, Colorado, Minnesota, Montana, Texas, Utah, and Wyoming, they saw their daily infections rise by at least 60% over the past week. Now, there isn't one big event or sudden occurrence that explains the increase that they're seeing. The US is now averaging roughly 43,000 new cases per day, which is a 16% increase from a week ago. And as I mentioned, the biggest increases are largely concentrated in the West and Midwest. There are a couple of East Coast exceptions, though. Maine and New Jersey, they've also seen new infections uptick over the past week. However, as it relates to testing was up almost 22% over the last week. And the US is now conducting about 860,000 coronavirus tests per day. And as you guys know, the US is racing towards a vaccine, and doctors are getting better at treating the virus. Now, jumping here to the state of Florida, this is a bit of good news, not only for the state, but also possibly worldwide. there's a COVID-19 treatment based in Ocala, Florida, that has seen a 96% success rate. So kudos and congratulations goes to Advent Health Ocala for what they have coined as their ICAM treatment. That is a protocol that is comprised of several different medications that is used, and that is actually what the acronym, that's what the ICAM is. It's an acronym for the different medications that are used. The I is for immunosupport, such as vitamin C and zinc. C for corticosteroids to control inflammation. A for anticoagulants to prevent blood clots. And M for macrolides to help fight infection. Now, Dr. Carlette Norwood Williams, who's the director of pharmacy at Advent Ocala, said, quote, "The ICAM protocol has the potential to trigger the reopening of the country." Some big words there. She said, "We will know the next step after our outpatient study." So she said the ICAM works by reinforcing the immune system and protecting the lungs from inflammation. She also explained that they had no need for mechanical ventilation, and the patients all survived the discharge, regardless of age and regardless of past medical history. That's some great news. And she said, given the drug class combination, she said ICAM works to defend the body from the most severe cases of the coronavirus. It doesn't kill the coronavirus, but she says it doesn't need to because viruses are self-limiting anyway. They have a short life cycle. The reason people have a lot of complications or pass away due to COVID-19 is the consequences of coronavirus in multiple ways. So for Advent Health Ocala, they're beginning a clinical trial for the drug therapy to publish their findings and share the treatment with physicians around the world. So as we continue to keep you guys posted at the larger pharmaceutical companies working on their vaccines, this could potentially be an alternative that could be on a global scale as well to help prevent or eradicate COVID-19 as we know it. So some exciting news. But stay tuned, guys. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and bring you some more news stories. Stay tuned.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. In our next U.S. story, President Donald Trump has signed an executive order aimed at helping Americans with pre-existing conditions with their healthcare coverage, among other things. And this was during his Thursday visit to Charlotte. So this announcement comes during that particular visit. He says that, today he is laying out his vision for the future of American healthcare with the America First healthcare plan. He says the new plan will offer, quote, more choice, freedom to shop for options, cost 60% less than the ACA, and will pool small business plans. He also added that the premiums for healthcare will be fully tax deductible under that plan. He said the plan has three main pillars: more choice for American patients, lower costs for families and seniors, and better care for American patients. He said that under the plan, 33 million Medicare beneficiaries will receive a card in the mail worth $200 to help pay for prescription drugs. He also says that a new rule would also allow cheaper importation of prescription drugs from Canada. So that will be important for those who are dependent on prescription drugs. If the executive order is not passed by January 1st, officials say, President Trump will give the U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alex Azar, the full power of the U.S. government to protect patients from surprise billing. And the president is ordering Congress to act, or instructing Congress to act, I should say. Now, jumping here to the state of Florida, if you are a student attending one of Florida's 12 public universities, Governor DeSantis is fighting for your right to party. He said during a virtual roundtable on Thursday that he considers the move for some certain universities to suspend students who gather for parties out of control, controlling the risk of the spread of COVID-19 draconian. He believes that the suspension basis is draconian. He feels that that is not a fair assessment in terms of how to treat students for wanting to socialize. So he is considering drafting a college students' Bill of Rights that would preclude state universities from taking actions against students who are enjoying themselves. Now, the governor's office didn't immediately respond to questions about when he might issue the Bill of Rights or whether it would be done through an executive order. Now, of course, this is coming on the heels of a recent report of Florida State University making the announcement last week that they have a policy of now suspending students who attend or host large parties or who contract COVID-19 but don't self-isolate. So the governor, for his part, said that that kind of suspension is a bit too drastic. Now, he met on Thursday in a news conference about health issues in Tallahassee, and the event included DeSantis meeting with 3 scientists, Stanford University professors Michael Levitt and Jayanta Bhattacharya, and Harvard University professor Martin Kulldorff. Kulldorff said that universities should operate almost normally, except that older professors should teach classes online and that teaching assistants could appear in person to help students. So we shall see when that particular order comes down the pipeline, but at least you know if you're a student attending university here in the state of Florida, a public university anyway, Governor DeSantis is in your corner in terms of partying. But that brings us to our audience question. What do you think? Do you think colleges and universities should suspend students for hosting or attending parties? Leave a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are. Join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you guys. In the meantime, we're going to take another quick commercial break. We're going to come back with your business and sports stories. Stay tuned.
There's more than one way to enjoy a Moreno Bakery custom cake. You could smash it, swipe it, love it, cut it, devour it. Moreno Bakery, for every slice of life.
Welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. In our business story, the CEOs of Facebook, Google, and Twitter could be hit with a subpoena from the Senate if they don't willingly agree to appear before the Senate on October 1st during a hearing that they will be having. They have to agree to attend as of today, by close of business today. The Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation plan to question the CEOs about how their particular companies are being held liable for the content of users' posts, particularly under Section 230, which is a 1996 law that has been kind of protecting social media companies. President Donald Trump has signaled that the protection should be weakened after Twitter and Facebook applied fact-check labels to his posts that contain some misinformation about mail-in voting, which he and other Republicans claim is evidence of anti-conservative bias. Now, the tech companies have repeatedly denied that political bias influences their decisions about how to moderate content. Now, Republicans have repeatedly claimed that the big tech companies silence conservative voices, pointing to those fact checks of Trump's posts as examples. But data shows that conservative sites and pundits regularly generate content that garner the most interactions of any outlets online. Attorney General William Barr announced on Wednesday that his office submitted a draft bill to Congress that would significantly reform Section 230 by, quote, requiring greater transparency and accountability when platforms remove lawful speech. Now, on the opposite end, Democrats have also targeted Section 230 because they believe it gives tech companies too much leeway when moderating hate speech and misinformation. Now, former Vice President Joe Biden said that he would work to repeal Section 230 if he is elected president. So stay tuned here, Florida National News. We'll continue to keep you posted. Now, jumping into our sports story, more college football news. This is more good college football news. It is revived on the West Coast. Pac-12 has agreed to go ahead and resume fall football. They're going to go ahead and go through with that. They decided to get back in the game as of today, or as of Thursday. They decided to set November 6th as their start of a 7-game season, joining the Big Ten in overturning the August decisions to punt, pun intended, on fall football. Now, the Mountain West followed up a few hours later by announcing that it is aiming to kick off on October 24th. 9 out of the 10 FBS conferences are now ready to have their seasons completed by December 20th, the day the College Football Playoff Selection Committee is scheduled to pick teams to play for the national championship and in the most lucrative bowls. University of Oregon President Michael Skill, said that the discussion among the presidents and chancellors was largely about the benefits as well as the cons of starting in the fall versus starting in January. The consensus opinion was the benefits of starting in the fall were much greater than the benefits of starting in the winter. Now, with Pac-12 having secured daily COVID-19 testing for its athletes and having been given the green light from the state and local health officials, the CEOs voted unanimously to lift the January 1st moratorium on athletic competition. So exciting news. The Pac-12 men's and women's basketball seasons can start November 25th in line with the NCAA's recently announced opening date. So exciting news there. The football championship game is set for December 18th, putting the conference back in play for the biggest postseason games and the multi-million-dollar playouts that come with them. So good news for fall football on the West Coast of the Pac-12. In the meantime, we're going to take one final commercial break, and then we're going to come back and wrap up with a very touching entertainment story. Stay tuned.
At Taco John's, you can expect one thing, so good, as in quality ingredients used in tacos and burritos made just for you. Every single bite.
So good.
Expect nothing less at Taco John's.
Welcome back, guys, as we wrap up with the entertainment story. Downtown Disney in Disneyland, California, has unveiled a very touching mural to the late Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman. So congratulations on that. Very beautiful and touching mural right there. Disneyland itself is still closed, but Downtown Disney is open to visitors and open to the public. And the artist actually made a statement here. He said, quote, "This one is special. My King Chad tribute is now on a wall on display at Downtown Disney." He posted that on Instagram along with several pictures of the mural. The artist is Nicholas Smith. And of course, the image is of Boseman exchanging the Wakanda salute with the child wearing that Black Panther mask. So beautiful. The artist said, quote, "It is a full circle moment for me. My final two projects as a Disney Imagineer last summer were working on the Children's Hospital Project and the Avengers Campus. To millions of kids, T'Challa was a legend larger than life, and there was no one more worthy to fill those shoes than Chadwick Boseman." He continued, "I'm so thankful to be able to honor Chadwick's life and purpose in this way. I'm grateful to the Disney family for being so supportive of my journey as an artist." And of course, Chadwick Boseman passed away back in August at the age of 43. He died on August 28th. At the age of 43. The news of his death shocked his legions of fans and Hollywood. So very fitting that the mural is unveiled in the Hollywood area. Now, while Disneyland is currently closed amid COVID-19 pandemic, the Downtown Disney Shopping and Dining District is open for business. So if you're out in California, be sure to stop by that mural, take all the pics in the world, and enjoy that touching tribute. But that does it here for us at the Evening News Rundown. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow, all that fun stuff. You can find us at Florida National News on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And on YouTube, not only click the subscribe button, but also click the bell icon to get all the notifications for all of our shows. And once again, we'd like to extend an invitation to any advertisers or sponsors looking to advertise on our segments or on our websites. Just shoot us an email at ads@floridanationalnews.com for more information. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend and a great rest of your Friday. Take care.